Welcome to Starlight Sci-Fi, where the cosmos meets imagination. If you love deep dives into the mysteries of the universe and the boundless creativity of humanity, subscribe and join us on this journey. When the first alien coalition observed Earth's defenses, they were baffled. For a species that had conquered genetic manipulation, faster than light travel, and neural enhancements, humans clung to weapons so old they were practically relics. Projectile weapons, chemical explosives, and bladed tools were obsolete by galactic standards. But what the aliens didn't understand was that humanity wasn't holding on to these weapons because they lacked innovation. They kept them for a reason that would send shockwaves through the galaxy. The Galactic Concord was the pinnacle of technological and cultural achievement in the Milky Way. For centuries, its member civilizations had thrived under a shared ethos of progress, unity, and innovation. They had transcended their primal instincts, leaving behind the chaotic violence of their early histories. War, while not entirely eliminated, had evolved into a calculated, almost clinical endeavor. Precision energy weapons, nanotechnological disassemblers, and non-lethal containment fields were standard tools of conflict resolution. It was efficient, clean, and left no room for the messy unpredictability of primitive combat. This made Earth a puzzle. When humanity's presence was first noted, it seemed unremarkable. Earth lay on the edge of the Orient Arm, a quiet backwater far from the bustling hubs of galactic trade. Yet the humans had achieved a startling level of technological development despite their isolation. They had faster-than-light capabilities, intricate data networks, and advanced biotechnology. On the surface, they appeared to be a young but promising species. But then the Concord's analysts began reviewing humanity's military archives, and confusion set in. Instead of sleek plasma rifles or nanite-based weaponry, humans seemed to rely on an arsenal of relics. There were weapons that hurled solid projectiles using chemical explosions, tanks that belched smoke as they tore through battlefields, and even edged weapons designed for close combat. By the Concorde standards, these tools were preposterously outdated. The question was, why? Some hypothesized that humanity had simply never developed the scientific understanding necessary to move beyond such primitive tools. Yet this theory didn't align with the humans' evident mastery of other technologies. Their spacecraft were capable of complex maneuvers rivaling Concorde standards. Their medical advancements hinted at deep knowledge of biology. Clearly, this wasn't a species hindered by ignorance. Others argued that humans might be clinging to tradition. Perhaps their history was steeped in nostalgia for these weapons, and their use had become ceremonial rather than practical. While this explanation seemed more plausible, there were inconsistencies. Reconnaissance drones recorded military exercises where humans used these outdated tools with ruthless efficiency. If these weapons were symbolic, why were they so effective in simulated combat scenarios? The Galactic Concorde's High Council demanded answers. Humanity's technological backwardness could destabilize the fragile balance of power across the galaxy. What if their crude methods inspired rebellion in other civilizations? What if these humans were too unpredictable, too chaotic to be trusted with interstellar diplomacy? To investigate further, the Concorde dispatched unmanned probes to Earth. These probes, cloaked and undetectable, were designed to infiltrate the atmospheres of less advanced civilizations without a trace. But something unexpected happened. Each probe disappeared without explanation. No debris was found, no transmission sent. The only clue was a simple, encoded signal sent to the Concorde: "Do not provoke us." This brief message sent ripples of unease through the council chambers. How could a species that relied on crude weaponry disable some of the most advanced surveillance equipment in the galaxy? The mystery deepened. The Concorde's curiosity was now tinged with anxiety. Earth was no longer just an anomaly. It was a potential threat, a puzzle, whose solution might hold the key to understanding the greatest military enigma the galaxy had ever encountered. After the disappearance of their reconnaissance probes, the Galactic Concorde became increasingly uneasy. The probes represented the apex of stealth technology. Designed to operate undetected in even the most hostile environments, they were equipped with cloaking systems, quantum encryption, and adaptive camouflage. The fact that these advanced devices had vanished without a trace while surveying Earth was deeply troubling. The encoded warning, "Do not provoke us," only added to the mystery. It was not an automated signal, nor was it a standard response from a primitive civilization. It was deliberate, calculated, The Concorde's analysts were baffled by how the humans had not only detected the probes, but managed to decode their systems and transmit a message through them. This suggested a level of ingenuity and resourcefulness that defied the apparent primitiveness of their weaponry. The Concorde's High Council debated the matter for weeks. Some argued that Earth should be quarantined and left alone. Humanity, they reasoned, was an anomaly best avoided until more data could be gathered. Others insisted that direct contact was necessary. The humans were clearly aware of the Concorde's presence, and ignoring them could be interpreted as a sign of weakness. Ultimately, the Council decided to send an ambassadorial vessel. The mission's objectives were clear: establish contact, assess the humans' true level of technological advancement, and, if possible, retrieve the missing probes. The vessel, known as Luminara, was a marvel of engineering. It was equipped with state-of-the-art defenses, including energy shields that could withstand supernova-level bursts and AI-guided countermeasures capable of neutralizing any known threat. As the Luminara approached Earth, its crew broadcast a series of peaceful messages, offering greetings in over 200 of the planet's languages. They expected some form of response, perhaps confusion, perhaps awe, but what they encountered was silence. Earth's surface remained eerily calm. There were no attempts at communication, no visible signs of preparation. Then, without warning, the ship's systems began to falter. A sudden surge of electromagnetic interference disabled its primary communication array. The advanced shielding, which had protected the ship from cosmic radiation and hostile attacks alike, buckled under the strain. The Luminara veered off course and crash-landed in a remote desert region of Earth. Despite the damage, the crew survived. As they began assessing their situation, they detected movement on the horizon. A fleet of human military vehicles, tanks, armored transports, and aerial drones rapidly surrounded the crash site. To the aliens' astonishment, the humans weren't wielding plasma weapons or disintegrators. Instead, they carried projectile rifles and explosives that seemed rudimentary by Concorde standards. The crew activated their nanodrone defense systems, confident that the humans would be no match for such advanced technology. But something extraordinary happened. The humans' crude projectiles, mere bullets, destroyed the nanodrones with pinpoint precision. Their explosives, which should have been useless against the ship's residual shielding, detonated in patterns that overwhelmed and dismantled the defenses entirely. The crew realized too late that the humans' weapons were anything but primitive. They were designed with a purpose to exploit vulnerabilities in advanced technologies. The Luminara's crew, once confident in their superiority, now found themselves utterly unprepared for the chaos that unfolded. As they watched the humans move with calculated precision, retrieving pieces of the ship and its systems, one terrifying thought emerged. The humans hadn't evolved beyond these outdated weapons. They didn't need to. What the Concorde had dismissed as primitive was, in fact, the key to humanity's greatest strength and ability to outthink, outmaneuver, and overwhelm even the most advanced adversaries. The Luminara had been sent to observe and report, but now it served as the Concorde's first direct lesson in human ingenuity. For the crew, survival was no longer guaranteed. For the Concorde, Earth was no longer a curiosity. It was a threat. The crash of the Luminara should have been an unmitigated disaster for humanity. By every known standard of interstellar conflict, a Concorde ship represented overwhelming superiority. Its arrival should have meant the swift subjugation of Earth, or at the very least, a forced negotiation on the aliens' terms. Yet, what unfolded after the crash revealed just how deeply the Galactic Concorde had underestimated humanity. The Luminara lay sprawled across the desert sands, its sleek, silvery hull marred by the rough landing. Its once glowing energy cores flickered dimly, sputtering under the effects of Earth's electromagnetic disruption. From orbit, the Concorde's surveillance satellites watched anxiously, expecting humanity to approach the wreck with curiosity or caution. What they saw instead was a level of military coordination that defied all expectations. Within minutes of the crash, Earth's militaries had mobilized. Satellite images revealed convoys of tanks, armored vehicles, and drones racing toward the crash site, flanked by infantry units. From above, helicopters and jets moved into position, their formations precise and deliberate. To the untrained eye, this might have seemed like an unorganized swarm, a chaotic assembly of mismatched equipment. But to the Concord analysts observing the scene, a chilling realization emerged. Humanity's forces weren't chaotic at all. They were adapting. The Luminara's crew, stunned but unharmed, quickly activated their ship's emergency defenses. Swarms of nanodrones emerged, forming an invisible perimeter around the wreckage. These microscopic machines, equipped with advanced targeting algorithms and molecular-level precision, had neutralized countless threats on other worlds. They were the pinnacle of modern warfare, capable of disassembling enemy weapons and incapacitating entire armies without spilling a drop of blood. But then the humans opened fire. What the Concorde had dismissed as crude projectile weapons proved anything but. Bullets, fired from what appeared to be old-fashioned rifles, moved with unnatural precision. The humans' ammunition was a mix of armor-piercing rounds, electromagnetic disruptors, and even chemical compounds designed to corrode advanced materials. It became clear that these simple weapons weren't outdated. They were meticulously engineered to exploit the vulnerabilities of cutting-edge technology. The nanodrones, touted as unstoppable, disintegrated as bullets pierced their cores or disrupted their energy fields. The humans' artillery, though noisy and seemingly inefficient, unleashed a barrage that overwhelmed the Luminara's energy shields. Explosions ripped through the air, their shockwaves calibrated to disrupt the molecular cohesion of advanced alloys. Each blast seemed to anticipate and counteract the ship's automated repair systems, forcing them into an endless loop of failure. The Luminara's crew scrambled for alternatives, deploying energy pulses and gravitational disruptors, only to watch in growing horror as the humans countered each move. It wasn't brute force, it was calculated chaos. Every human weapon, no matter how primitive it seemed, worked in concert with the others to dismantle the Concorde's technological advantages. What followed was even more unsettling. The humans didn't destroy the ship. Once the Luminara's defenses were neutralized, they moved in with eerie efficiency, securing the crash site and retrieving key components of the alien technology. They worked with precision, collecting data and materials while maintaining a strict perimeter to ensure no alien crew members escaped. For the Luminara's crew, the realization was staggering. Humanity wasn't just a species clinging to relics of a bygone era. They were tacticians, engineers, and innovators who had mastered the art of asymmetrical warfare. What the Concorde saw as a reliance on outdated technology was, in reality, a deliberate strategy, a way to counter advanced systems with tools that were harder to predict, harder to neutralize, and devastatingly effective. When the first human transport vehicle pulled away from the crash site, carrying salvaged pieces of the Luminara, one thing became clear to the watching Concorde satellites: Earth wasn't an unprepared backwater. It was a battlefield honed by millennia of conflict. And humanity wasn't a primitive species. They were survivors, and they fought with weapons designed not for elegance but for victory. The first contact mission had failed catastrophically, and the Concorde was beginning to understand why. Humanity's weapons were not relics of an inferior past. They were a warning of a dangerous future. The failure of the Luminara shook the Galactic Concorde to its core. A single ship lost wasn't unprecedented, but the manner in which it was defeated defied explanation. The humans had repelled an alien vessel equipped with some of the most advanced technologies in the galaxy, using nothing more than what appeared to be outdated, inefficient weapons. For a civilization as meticulously advanced as the Concorde, this was an anomaly too glaring to ignore. Desperate for answers, the Concorde's council assembled a team of their brightest minds to analyze humanity's methods. These were scientists, strategists, and historians, experts in everything from technological innovation to galactic warfare. The goal was simple: uncover the logic behind humanity's perplexing approach to weaponry. But the more the researchers studied, the more confused they became. Human weaponry defied every principle of military progression. Where other species had streamlined their arsenals into elegant, singularly focused designs, humans seemed to embrace a chaotic mess of overlapping technologies. They used kinetic projectiles alongside electromagnetic disruptors, chemical explosives beside electronic countermeasures, and even bladed weapons that seemed primitive but were terrifyingly effective in close combat. The researchers labeled this approach the theory of chaos. Human warfare, they concluded, was not designed for efficiency, it was designed for unpredictability. Unlike the Concorde, which had perfected the art of standardized, flawless systems, humanity thrived on redundancy and improvisation. A single human weapon often combined multiple systems, each acting as a fail-safe for the others. If one part failed, another would still function. If a weapon's primary purpose was neutralized, it could still cause damage in unexpected ways. The researchers delved deeper into human history, searching for the origins of this chaotic philosophy. What they found was staggering. Humanity had spent millennia locked in cycles of conflict, each war pushing their ingenuity further. In ancient times, they had wielded spears and swords, but even then, they innovated rapidly, creating bows, crossbows, and siege engines. The industrial age brought firearms and explosives, which quickly evolved into tanks, missiles, and nuclear warheads. But even as humanity advanced, they never abandoned older technologies entirely. Instead, they adapted them, blending the old with the new in ways that defied conventional logic. A knife might be paired with a plasma charge. A rifle might fire electromagnetic disruptors instead of bullets. This layering of technologies made their weapons brutally versatile, capable of countering even the most advanced systems. The researchers also discovered another unsettling pattern: humanity's weapons weren't just tools, they were traps. During simulations, the Concorde's AI attempted to analyze and replicate human weapons for testing. Each attempt ended in failure. Some weapons were designed to self-destruct if tampered with, while others unleashed devastating countermeasures. One weapon, a seemingly ordinary landmine, triggered a cascading electromagnetic pulse that disabled an entire laboratory's systems. It became clear that humanity's arsenal was not just a collection of tools, it was a philosophy. The humans had long understood a fundamental truth about war: no system is perfect, and no technology is invincible. They didn't seek perfection in their designs. Instead, they embraced imperfection, turning it into an advantage. The most chilling realization came when the researchers simulated battles between human forces and Concorde armies. The AI ran thousands of scenarios, pitting the Concorde's sleek, precise technology against humanity's chaotic arsenal. Time after time, the simulations ended with human victory. The Concorde's advanced systems, while powerful, were too predictable. Humans exploited their patterns, disrupting supply lines, sabotaging critical systems, and forcing engagements in unpredictable environments. It wasn't just the weapons themselves, it was how humans used them. They didn't fight by the rules. They didn't adhere to patterns. They adapted, improvised, and thrived in chaos. The theory of chaos wasn't just about weapons. It was about survival. Humanity had forged an identity through struggle and conflict, and their ability to anticipate failure and overcome it was unmatched. Their weapons were a reflection of their greatest strength and uncanny ability to turn disorder into domination. For the Concorde, the implications were terrifying. They had built their empire on the assumption that advanced technology would always prevail. Humanity shattered that assumption. The humans weren't just another species, they were an anomaly, a force of nature that thrived where others faltered. The theory of chaos wasn't just a mystery, it was a warning. And the Concorde was only beginning to understand how dangerous humanity could be. The Galactic Concorde's initial conclusion was simple: humanity's success in defeating the Luminara and their baffling reliance on primitive weapons stemmed from their unpredictability and resourcefulness. But as more data poured in, the Council realized they were only scratching the surface of a much deeper mystery. Humanity's weapons were just the outward expression of something far more perplexing: the way humans thought. What baffled Concorde analysts most was the duality of human nature. They were capable of creating symphonies of breathtaking beauty, intricate works of art, and philosophies that pondered the meaning of existence. Yet, in the same breath, they were capable of unleashing unparalleled destruction. The same hands that crafted tools for exploration and medicine also built weapons designed to annihilate entire cities. The Council's researchers struggled to reconcile these extremes. Most civilizations in the Concorde had followed a predictable evolutionary arc. As their technologies advanced, they became more peaceful, focusing their energies on enlightenment and progress. A war became unnecessary, and weapons became relics of a darker time. But humanity defied this trend. Despite their technological sophistication, humans had never truly abandoned their primal instincts for conflict. Instead, they had woven them into the very fabric of their identity. To understand this paradox, the Concord delved deeper into humanity's history. What they discovered was a species forged in adversity. From the moment humans emerged on Earth, they had been locked in a constant struggle for survival against predators, harsh climates, disease, and most often each other. Unlike most intelligent species, humanity's evolutionary path was one of perpetual conflict. This endless cycle of struggle shaped them in unique ways. Where other civilizations sought stability, humans thrived in instability. They learned to adapt quickly, to improvise, and to find opportunities in chaos. Their greatest innovations often came in response to existential threats. Disease outbreaks led to breakthroughs in medicine, famines drove agricultural revolutions, and wars accelerated technological progress. Even their cultural narratives reflected this. Stories of heroes overcoming impossible odds, underdogs defeating stronger foes, and individuals achieving greatness through perseverance were embedded in their psyche. Humanity had internalized the idea that conflict wasn't just a challenge, it was an opportunity for growth. But this adaptability came at a cost. Humanity's weapons weren't just tools of war, they were extensions of their own fears and ambitions. Every rifle, bomb, and tank carried the weight of their history, their desire to protect, to conquer, and to survive. Unlike the Concord, which viewed warfare as a clinical exercise in strategy, humans approached it as a deeply personal endeavor. This was why their weapons were so unpredictable. They weren't designed to adhere to a single doctrine or strategy. Instead, they were created to reflect humanity's chaotic nature. Their arsenal wasn't just a collection of tools, it was a living, evolving ecosystem, capable of adapting to any threat. The researchers also noticed something else: humanity's obsession with redundancy. Their weapons often seemed unnecessarily complex, with backup systems upon backup systems. But this wasn't inefficiency, it was foresight. Humans had long accepted that failure was inevitable, and they designed their tools to keep functioning even under the worst circumstances. A human weapon might look crude, but it was almost impossible to completely disable. The paradox deepened as the researchers analyzed human decision-making. Unlike most Concord species, which relied on logic and probability, humans often made choices based on emotion, instinct, or intuition. This made them incredibly difficult to predict. In battle, they might retreat when victory seemed assured, or launch a suicidal attack that defied all logic only to emerge victorious. This unpredictability made them terrifying opponents. The Concord's greatest strength, its reliance on logic and advanced technology, was useless against a species that thrived on chaos and instinct. Humanity didn't just fight wars, they lived them. Their entire existence was a testament to the idea that survival wasn't guaranteed, it had to be earned, again and again. As the Concord pieced together these insights, an unsettling truth emerged: humanity wasn't just another civilization to be studied or assimilated. They were a force of nature, a living paradox that defied every known rule of galactic progress. Their weapons, though seemingly primitive, were a reflection of their greatest strength: the ability to adapt, to endure, and to thrive in the face of annihilation. The Council realized that humanity wasn't an anomaly that could be ignored or dismissed. They were a threat that couldn't be quantified, and for the first time in centuries, the Concord found itself facing an enemy it couldn't fully understand. For the Galactic Concord, humanity's unexpected strength was not just a problem, it was a glaring failure of their assumptions. For centuries, the Concord had operated under a single, unshakable belief: technological superiority guaranteed dominance. This belief had allowed them to expand their influence across countless star systems, absorbing or subjugating every species they encountered. But humanity shattered that illusion. The High Council convened in an emergency session, their once calm deliberations now tinged with unease. The reports from Earth painted a grim picture. Humanity's victory over the Luminara had not been a fluke, nor had it been luck. It was the product of deliberate, calculated design. The humans' primitive weapons, once dismissed as relics of an inferior past, were now recognized as a carefully honed arsenal designed to counter advanced technologies. But what truly unsettled the Council wasn't the weapons themselves, it was humanity's mindset. The Concord had always believed that the path to enlightenment lay in moving beyond conflict, in creating societies so advanced that war became obsolete. Humanity, on the other hand, seemed to embrace conflict as a constant, using it to fuel their growth and ingenuity. This mindset was alien to the Concord, which viewed warfare as a failure of diplomacy and logic. Yet for humanity, it was something else entirely. Conflict wasn't just a temporary state, it was a crucible, a force that shaped their civilization and drove their progress. Humanity's resilience, adaptability, and creativity all stemmed from their willingness to confront challenges head-on, no matter how insurmountable they seemed. The Council's scientists proposed a new mission, a second attempt at direct contact. This time they would approach with caution, armed with what they had learned about humanity's unpredictable nature. The goal was not conquest but understanding. Perhaps, they reasoned, humanity could be reasoned with, integrated into the Concord's peaceful fold. But the Concord's militarists disagreed. To them, humanity was a threat unlike any they had ever faced. If allowed to thrive, humans could destabilize the delicate balance of power across the galaxy. Their ability to weaponize chaos made them too dangerous to ignore. The militarists pushed for immediate action, a decisive strike to neutralize Earth before humanity could grow even more dangerous. The Council's debates dragged on for weeks, but the humans didn't wait. They never did. Unbeknownst to the Concord, humanity had already reverse-engineered parts of the Luminara. The crash site had been meticulously secured, and every piece of alien technology was studied, dismantled, and, where possible, replicated. The humans didn't need to understand the full complexity of the Concord's systems, they only needed to find their weaknesses. And they did. One morning, a series of unexplained malfunctions rippled through Concord space. Satellites went dark. Long-range communications were disrupted. Entire fleets found their systems mysteriously compromised. At first, the Concord believed it was a technical glitch, but the truth was far more unsettling. Humanity had launched its first offensive not with brute force, but with precision. They had weaponized the Concord's own technologies against them. Using what they had salvaged from the Luminara, they devised electromagnetic pulses, hacking algorithms, and other countermeasures specifically designed to exploit the weaknesses in Concord systems. Every failure the humans had encountered in their own technology had become a lesson, a stepping stone to overcoming the Concord's once impenetrable defenses. The strikes were surgical, disabling Concord fleets and installations without destroying them. The humans weren't seeking outright war, they were sending a message. They had learned enough about the Concord to fight them on their own terms, and they were prepared to escalate if provoked. For the first time in its history, the Concord faced an enemy that didn't fear its power. Humanity didn't rely on massive fleets or overwhelming firepower. They relied on something far more dangerous: ingenuity. They adapted faster than the Concord could respond, turning every encounter into a learning experience. As the Concord scrambled to regain control, the Council realized the depth of their mistake. They had assumed humanity was weak, because they didn't conform to the galactic standard of progress. They had failed to see that humanity's greatest strength lay in their refusal to conform at all. The Council convened one final time to discuss their options. But the question wasn't just how to deal with humanity, it was whether they could. For the first time in centuries, the Concord faced an opponent they couldn't outthink, outmaneuver, or overwhelm. Humanity was unlike any species they had encountered, and the Concord's playbook was useless against them. The humans had taken everything the Concord believed about warfare, progress, and superiority, and turned it on its head. They had proven that sometimes, the most dangerous weapon isn't advanced technology, it's a species that refuses to quit. And the Concord was running out of time to decide what to do about it. The Galactic Concord, once a symbol of order and unchallenged supremacy, now found itself at a crossroads. The humans, with their paradoxical mix of chaotic ingenuity and relentless resilience, had forced the galaxy's most advanced coalition to confront its greatest fear: vulnerability. For centuries, the Concord had believed its technological superiority made it invincible. Now, humanity had proven that even the most advanced systems could be undone by adaptability, unpredictability, and a refusal to submit. In the wake of humanity's precision strikes, the Concord's fleets limped back to their strongholds. Their systems, though not irreparably damaged, had been compromised in ways they didn't fully understand. The humans had struck hard, but they had also stopped short of total annihilation. It wasn't a declaration of war, it was a calculated warning. And that, more than anything, unsettled the Concord. The Council debated endlessly over how to respond. The militarists argued that humanity's capacity for destruction was too great to leave unchecked. They demanded an overwhelming show of force to crush Earth before humans could advance any further. But the scientists and strategists, humbled by humanity's ingenuity, warned against underestimating them again. A full-scale invasion might provoke a response the Concorde couldn't control. Meanwhile, Earth's activity was far from idle. Humanity was mobilizing, not just militarily but intellectually. Across the planet, scientists, engineers, and thinkers worked together in ways rarely seen before. The Luminara's crash had ignited a global surge of innovation. Humanity wasn't just reverse engineering alien technology, they were improving it, blending Concorde advancements with their own chaotic creativity. The result was astonishing. In mere months, humans had developed hybrid technologies that pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Energy shields capable of deflecting Concorde plasma, weapons that disrupted molecular structures, and stealth systems that made their fleets almost invisible. What the Concorde had achieved over millennia, humanity was accomplishing in a fraction of the time. This rapid advancement wasn't just a testament to human ingenuity, it was a reminder of what drove them. Unlike the Concorde, which had achieved peace through order, humanity thrived in struggle. Every challenge, every obstacle, became fuel for their progress. The harder they were pushed, the stronger they became. The Concorde realized too late that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology, it was their indomitable spirit. While most species in the galaxy feared conflict and sought to avoid it, humans embraced it. For them, survival wasn't a guarantee, it was a fight, and they were prepared to fight for as long as it took. In the end, the Concorde made its decision. They sent a single envoy to Earth, not with demands or threats, but with an offer, peace. They had come to understand that humanity couldn't be conquered or subdued. The humans had proven that their strength lay not in their weapons but in their will. They weren't a threat to be eliminated, they were a force to be reckoned with. The envoy's arrival was met with cautious optimism. Humanity had prepared for war, but they had also learned enough about the Concorde to recognize an opportunity. They listened carefully to the offer, weighing it against their hard-earned lessons. Trust wouldn't come easily, but neither would humanity let fear dictate their future. In the years that followed, humanity and the Concorde forged a fragile alliance. The Concorde, humbled by their encounter with Earth, began to rethink their philosophy. They had always believed that progress required order and perfection, but humanity had shown them a different path, one that embraced chaos, imperfection, and the relentless drive to overcome. For humanity, the alliance was both a victory and a challenge. They had proven their strength, but they also understood the stakes. The galaxy was vast, and Earth was still just one small planet. The Concorde's resources and knowledge offered opportunities that humanity couldn't ignore. But they also knew that their survival would depend on maintaining the very traits that had brought them this far: adaptability, creativity, and the willingness to fight for their place in the universe. In the end, the Concorde and humanity learned from each other. The Concorde began to embrace the lessons of chaos, finding new strength in adaptability and innovation. Humanity, in turn, gained access to resources and knowledge that accelerated their journey to the stars. Together, they forged a new chapter in galactic history, one built not on domination or submission, but on the shared understanding that strength comes in many forms. The story of humanity's rise became a legend within the Concorde, a cautionary tale of underestimation and resilience. It served as a reminder that even in the vastness of the galaxy, the smallest spark could ignite a flame that changed everything. And so, humanity's legacy was secured not as conquerors or victims, but as survivors. A species that had stared down the greatest power in the galaxy and refused to yield. A species that had proven that sometimes the most outdated tools can shape the future. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into humanity's unique approach to survival, give us a like and subscribe for more thought-provoking science fiction content. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What's your favorite part of the story? See you next time on Starlight Sci-Fi.